Hey everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. It's Ariana, and today I want to take you somewhere warm and fragrant and a little bit unexpected. We're making my anise pork roast, and honestly, this might be one of my favorite things I make all year. Let me set the scene for you. Picture a big pot on the stove, steam curling up, and the smell of star anise and ginger filling the whole house. That smell alone is worth the price of admission. It's sweet, it's a little bit licoricy, it's warm and spicy all at once. My family knows what's for dinner the second they walk in the door. So here's the thing about this dish. It's an Asian-inspired pork roast, and it's built around two ingredients that just do magic together: star anise and fresh ginger. The pork itself is the vehicle, but those two flavors are really the stars of the show. I like to say the pork is just along for the ride. I have to tell you a bit about how this one came to be, because it's actually tied to one of my favorite travel memories. Years ago, I was in China, wandering through a night market on a rainy evening, and the smell of something simmering in a street vendor's pot just stopped me mid-step. That deep, licorice-sweet aroma of star anise mixed with ginger and soy, it felt like home, even though I was thousands of miles from home. I asked the vendor what was in the pot, and she just laughed and told me patience and pork shoulder. That was apparently the whole recipe, as far as she was concerned. I'd later learn it belonged to a much older tradition called Hongxiao, or red-braised pork, a classic from Hunan and Shanghai built on that same soy and star anise foundation. When I got home, I spent weeks trying to recreate that smell in my own kitchen. The traditional version often leans on rice wine and rock sugar to get that deep mahogany color, but my first few attempts with a simpler pantry came out either too sweet or too salty. Eventually, I landed on the balance you'll find in this recipe: bone-in pork shoulder, braised low and slow until it practically falls apart, with just enough star anise to perfume the whole pot without overpowering it. The bay leaves and black pepper round everything out, and the leftover sauce is honestly almost too good to waste, which is exactly why I started spooning the extra into ramen broth the next day. This has become one of those recipes I reach for whenever I want the house to smell like that market evening again. It's turned into a real cold weather staple in our home, the kind of dish that simmers away while everyone wanders into the kitchen asking what smells so good. It's funny because it's a world away from the grandmothers in Hunan who've been perfecting this style of cooking for generations, but somehow it still connects back to that same rainy night I can't quite forget. And it turns out this style of soy and star anise braising shows up all over Chinese and Southeast Asian home cooking, just under different names. In Hokkien Chinese cooking, there's Kong Tao Yu Bak, pork braised in soy sauce, often with hard-boiled eggs and peppercorns. In the Philippines, there's pata tim, a braised pork hock dish built on soy sauce, garlic, bay leaves, and star anise, really close in spirit to what we're making today. I just love that this one little pot of pork shoulder connects to so many different kitchens and so many different families. Let's talk ingredients for a second, because this is a short list and I love that about it. You'll need about 1.5 pounds of pork shoulder, bone-in if you can get it. The bone really adds flavor to that braising liquid. Then 2 onions, a good amount of fresh ginger, 3 cloves of garlic, and 4 or 5 whole pods of star anise. Don't skip the whole pods if you can help it. That's where the real depth comes from. Then a tablespoon of brown sugar, half a cup of soy sauce, some black pepper, and 3 to 5 bay leaves. That's it. Simple pantry stuff, big payoff. Now, a quick note: star anise is one of those ingredients that some people haven't cooked with much, but it's become a real favorite at our house. Okay, let's get into how we actually make this. First thing, grab a large Dutch oven if you have one. It really is the best tool for this job, but don't worry if you don't have one. A regular heavy pot or a deep skillet will absolutely get you there too. Start by chopping your pork into big chunks. You want substantial pieces here, not tiny cubes. This is a roast after all, so we're keeping things hearty. Heat up some vegetable oil in your Dutch oven over medium-high heat, and once it's simmering, sear that pork on all sides. Give it about 4 to 5 minutes per side until you've got a nice deep brown crust. This step matters more than people think. That browning is where so much flavor gets built in. Once your pork is beautifully seared, it's time to build the braise. In that same pot, you're going to add your marinade along with some chicken broth and bring it up to a simmer. Then pour in water until the meat is fully covered. You want that pork swimming happily in there. Add your chopped onions, your sliced ginger, and your crushed garlic. Then in goes the soy sauce, the brown sugar, the bay leaves, the black pepper, and of course those star anise pods. Bring it to a boil covered first, and then take the lid off and let it simmer low and slow for about an hour. This is my favorite part of the whole process. The house just fills up with this incredible aroma, and you genuinely cannot rush this step. Let it do its thing. Go pour yourself a glass of wine, put your feet up for a minute, and just let that pot work its magic. After about an hour, that pork is going to be fall apart tender, soaked through with all that sweet, savory, slightly spiced braising liquid. Now let's talk about how to serve this, because I have some preferences. My number one pick is steamed jasmine rice. That fragrant, fluffy rice just soaks up the sauce beautifully, and it's the classic pairing for a reason. If you want to round it out, stir-fried bok choy or snap peas add this fresh, crunchy contrast that cuts right through the richness of the pork. If you're in a noodle mood, lo mein or udon noodles tossed with a little of that braising sauce make an incredible hearty bowl. And don't sleep on pickled vegetables here. A little pickled daikon or some kimchi on the side gives you that tangy bite that just balances everything out perfectly. For something a little more festive, I love starting the meal with a bowl of miso soup, and if you're doing drinks, a ginger lychee martini or a classic Mai Tai fits the whole vibe so well. And to finish, something light and fruity, sliced mango, lychees, a little tropical fruit salad. It cleanses the palate and it just feels like the perfect bookend to this meal. Oh, and here's a little tip I always share. Don't throw out that leftover braising liquid. Strain it, dilute it a bit, and you've got yourself the base for an incredible homemade ramen broth. I actually have a whole ramen soup bowl recipe on the site that pairs perfectly with it, so nothing goes to waste. This is a dish I make for special dinners, but honestly, it's just as perfect for a cozy weekend with the family. It looks impressive, it smells like you spent all day in the kitchen, but really, most of the work is just letting that pot simmer while you go enjoy your life. If you give this one a try, I would absolutely love to see it. Tag us on Instagram, we're at lackey_maikai. And as always, you can find the full written recipe with all the exact measurements over on lackymaikai.com. Thanks so much for cooking with me today. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you back here in the kitchen soon.